The Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron James controversy, a media firestorm. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the ongoing feud between ESPN's Stephen A. Smith and NBA legend LeBron James, a battle that has sparked heated debates across social media, sports talk shows, and fan circles alike. For years, LeBron has been scrutinized by the media, with analysts and commentators picking apart every aspect of his career, on and off the court. But this time, things have escalated beyond the usual sports banter. A recent exchange between LeBron and Stephen A. Smith has put the role of sports journalists under the spotlight, raising serious questions about responsibility, ethics, and whether media figures sometimes cross the line. So what exactly happened? How did we get here? And what does this controversy say about sports media in general? Let's break it all down. The origins of the conflict. It all started when LeBron James made a guest appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, a popular sports podcast known for unfiltered discussions. In that interview, LeBron didn't hold back. He openly called out certain members of the media for building their careers off criticizing athletes, implying that some of the narratives pushed about him over the years were unfair or even false. While LeBron didn't specifically name Stephen A. Smith, the implication was clear, and Stephen A. took notice. The ESPN commentator responded in a series of public statements, taking issue with LeBron's remarks and suggesting that the Lakers superstar had a personal problem with him. What followed was a heated back-and-forth exchange, culminating in a viral segment on First Take, where Stephen A. Smith made claims that ignited further controversy. The memorial controversy. One of the biggest issues arose when Stephen A. falsely stated that LeBron James did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial service in 2020. This claim had already been debunked in the past, as LeBron was indeed present but chose to remain low profile during the event. However, Stephen A. reiterated the misinformation, leading to backlash from both LeBron fans and the broader NBA community. Realizing his mistake, Stephen A. issued a clarification and a partial apology on Twitter. My apologies and clarification. I misspoke an hour on a First Take today when I intimated that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial. I corrected myself an hour or two later when I acknowledged he was indeed in attendance. My mistake. Should I have even broached that subject? It was not my main point. I retract nothing else that I said. Have a nice day. While some appreciated the correction, many felt that it was too little, too late. Critics pointed out that for an entire year, Stephen A. had allowed this false narrative to persist, only retracting it after facing pressure. LeBron's response, a rare, unfiltered take. For years, LeBron has been known for taking the high road when dealing with media criticism. He rarely engages in public feuds with analysts, even when they question his greatness or leadership. However, this time was different. On the Pat McAfee Show, LeBron finally let loose, speaking candidly about the years of media scrutiny he has endured. He expressed frustration with analysts who, in his view, build their careers by constantly tearing athletes down. While he didn't explicitly single out Stephen A., his comments were widely interpreted as a direct response to the ESPN personality's recent remarks. This rare moment of unfiltered honesty from LeBron resonated with many fans. After 21 seasons in the NBA, it was clear that he was tired of being misrepresented by certain figures in sports media. The fallout, Stephen A. goes on the defensive. Rather than letting the situation cool down, Stephen A. doubled down. In multiple media appearances, he defended his stance and even suggested that LeBron should be grateful for the coverage he has received over the years. He also shifted the conversation, questioning why LeBron skipped Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Another narrative that seemed to be aimed at discrediting LeBron's character rather than focusing on basketball. As the tension escalated, fans and other analysts weighed in. Some supported Stephen A., arguing that he was simply doing his job as a journalist by holding athletes accountable. Others believed he had gone too far, using his platform to push personal grievances rather than objective analysis. And that brings us to the heart of the issue. Where's the line between sports journalism and personal attacks? Media responsibility, holding the press accountable. This situation highlights a broader conversation about the responsibility of sports media. Analysts like Stephen A. Smith wield significant influence, shaping public perception of athletes. when they spread misinformation or push personal narratives. It can have real consequences. LeBron James is one of the most scrutinized athletes in sports history, but he's not the only one to face this type of treatment. Other players, like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, have also been in the crosshairs of sports media, leading to tensions between athletes and journalists. This controversy raises an important question. Should sports analysts be held to higher journalistic standards, or are they simply entertainers providing commentary? The power struggle between athletes and the media. For decades, sports analysts have held a unique position. They critique, praise, and sometimes even shape the legacies of the very athletes they cover. Figures like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and others have built entire careers on their ability to analyze, criticize, and stir debate about top sports stars. But in today's media landscape, the power dynamics are shifting. Athletes now have their own platforms, social media, podcasts, and direct channels to their fans. They no longer have to rely solely on mainstream media to control their narratives. LeBron's appearance on the Pat McAfee Show is a perfect example. He didn't need ESPN or any traditional media outlet to voice his frustrations. He went straight to a platform where he felt comfortable speaking his mind without the usual filters. This is becoming a trend across all sports. Kevin Durant frequently uses Twitter to clap back at analysts. Draymond Green has his own podcast where he addresses narratives in real time. Even Michael Jordan, who famously stayed away from controversy during his playing days, now speaks out more freely in the Last Dance documentary. The message is clear. Athletes no longer have to remain silent while the media dictates the conversation. Stephen A. Smith's response: damage control or justified defense. Stephen A. Smith isn't one to back down from a fight, and this situation was no different. After LeBron's comments, instead of offering a full apology or de-escalating, he went on the defensive. Not only did he attempt to clarify his statements about Kobe Bryant's memorial, but he also brought up new points of contention, like LeBron's absence at Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction. Many saw this as Stephen A. shifting the goalposts, turning the conversation away from his mistake and onto another controversy. But why? Why didn't Stephen A. just admit his error and move on? One possible explanation is ego. In the sports media world, being seen as right is everything. Analysts pride themselves on their credibility and their ability to back up their takes. Admitting a mistake, especially one that was repeated for over a year, could be seen as a sign of weakness. Another possible reason? Entertainment value. Let's be real. Feuds like this generate ratings. Stephen A. is a showman as much as he is an analyst. His job isn't just to deliver sports news, but to create must-watch television. And a high-profile back and forth with LeBron James? That's the kind of storyline that keeps people tuning in. The bigger issue when commentary becomes personal. The biggest concern in all of this is the fine line between fair sports commentary and personal attacks. It's one thing to analyze a player's performance on the court. It's another to question their character, their decisions, and their personal lives. Stephen A.'s comments about LeBron not attending Kobe's memorial weren't about basketball. They were about perception. The same goes for his remarks about Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame ceremony. When sports media starts crossing that line, it raises ethical concerns. Should analysts have the right to dig into an athlete's personal choices, especially when the facts aren't clear? And if they do, should they be held accountable when they get it wrong? LeBron isn't the first athlete to push back against unfair narratives, but his decision to openly challenge Stephen A. has put the issue in the spotlight in a way we haven't seen before. What happens next? So, where does this go from here? For LeBron James, this incident is unlikely to impact LeBron in any major way. He's still playing at a high level, and his legacy as one of the greatest players of all time is secure. If anything, this moment has shown fans a new side of him, one that is willing to challenge the media when necessary. Going forward, we might see LeBron speak more openly in controlled settings like podcasts, where he can tell a story without media interference. For Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. will likely move on from this, but the controversy has certainly dented his credibility in the eyes of some fans. His brand is built on being the loudest voice in the room, But when that voice is called out for spreading misinformation, it can be damaging. What do you think? Should sports analysts be held to a higher standard? Or is this just part of the entertainment side of sports coverage? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories in sports. Until next time, thanks for watching.